Aries and partnerships. This is for Aries ascendant, especially also Sun and Moon to an extent, but also Venus. Okay, Aries, Venus. Aries and partnerships. Okay, so my friend Aries, you're most likely to deem yourself credited for one sometimes than not. For example, you'll just walk in and you'll see a girl and you go, mine, especially if you're male, that's mine, or masculinely minded. I feel there's lots of different parts of Aries that are not yet considered as, you know, the human species kind of feels to me. I feel that beautifully minded people are not yet your thing. I feel Aries is still sort of on the lookout for number one in terms of clothes, potency, of extremes, gratitude, you know, for bigger things, achievement, you know. There is a little bit of a boneheaded approach or a mindless approach still to relationships and relating with people. And I feel for you, Aries, it's fine as it will take its turn, like it will shift, because Uranus has been in your sign for a long time, and usually that means keeping things down to a minimum or relating in a very simplistic fashion in terms of love and care. This could sort of translate in very strong, deep needs to just tick the boxes. You know, got all the boxes ticked, man, you won, this is great, without really feeling. And that can be very famously beautiful for some people because they're almost like transcending the next stage of Libra. Like they know a lot more than Libra does in terms of how to gel together in simple terms and how to just get on with it and get on with life and, you know, enjoy sex and enjoy procreation and everything like that, and not really mind too much about what's going on inside. Or even like in the bedroom, just kind of get it over and done with, like stick it together and it's done. You know, how we're married, awesome, great, my mom will be proud. There's a very simplistic approach, and I feel that for Aries for the next few years, maybe for some of you months, there will be a very clear-cut ideal. There will be a development of very, 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 very clear-cut ideal as to what you are, and what you are inside means dictating your partnerships existing or not yet existing in a very clear way. Clear boundaries, clear dissection of spirit, I want to say, like dissection of spirit. So, okay, I like this about you, I don't really need this about you, maybe we'll talk about it, maybe we'll have to change something. So there'll be need definitely in the next few days, because it's very current for me, to reconsider how you look at us, because Aries can sometimes go into the box ticking during this time, especially as we got Jupiter and Libra for the next 12 months, but there needs to be a very strong inner voice that guides you backwards into you. So when you are committing to a relationship or complimenting another person, there will need to be a definite feeling of remember you're you have to go back, and that means that Aries doesn't really dissolve in people as much as they do, as they used to. You know, they would never admit it to themselves, but Aries do become the other person more than other signs. And it's like a little freaky secret, because, you know, Aries always number one, progressive, everything like that, you know, headstrong, but at the same time when they find love, because it's something that they look for, is that it's their descendant, it's on the other side of the scale, it's in Libra, they look for partnership so much in their life that sometimes when they settle with somebody, and it could even be a friend or a cup of coffee, over a cup of coffee, or it could be like you know, a lover or a long lost friend or something, but sometimes parts of Aries will be interchangeable without themselves being in control of it, just because they get a really great rush of frequency when they actually do find commitment and sort of partake in certain activities with people that deem them comfortable with themselves. So when you're dating an Aries, if you're dating an Aries, you have to know that sometimes what an Aries needs is just some freaking alone time with you. So like, if you're dating an Aries and you're not sure like how to approach it, sometimes what a person needs who's Aries in a big way is just to put their feet up, because sometimes they don't have that capacity with people. Like they don't really enjoy it to a degree that like a Cancer would, you know, a Leo would, you know. We other signs, we got sort of a lot of compatibility stuff already sussed out, but Aries kind of doesn't quite know themselves yet in some small or big way. So through provision of just like some comfort, just relaxation, you know, yeah, you can put your feet up, yeah, you can do whatever you want, you know, yeah, you can, you know, snore in bed, I don't really care. just providing them that level of being themselves and being alone with you, almost as if they're being inside themselves with you, that brings pleasure. That brings a lot of pleasure to you both, I feel, because Aries will birth something within you that's really great and new. And I feel at the same time, you allow for the explosion, the great explosion that Aries brings in bed, and also within their own scheme. Like, they sort of really progress in their world. If you are as a partner to an Arian, can give them some comfort and give them some nurture without overstimulation though. Like, if you do it in a really Cancerian way and you kind of like want to hug them and, you know, snug them and just never let them go, like, there's a little bit too much. But like, if they can just be their natural self with you, around you, that's like the best thing that you could possibly give an Aries. Anyway, so let's move on with the signs. So Aries, let's have a look at your chemical reaction with another Aries. Okay, so Aries and Aries combo is extreme dominance of fire over mind or heart. It's basically like ether bursting through and just enveloping you and making you gallop forward. It's like, oh gosh, we've got to do it. Like, there's almost like a mindless thing. I'm Aries Ascendant here. I've been with an Aries before in this part of the world for a short time, and I really noticed a lot of me change really quickly. So when you've got Aries Ascendant or Sun or Moon to an extent, but more like Venus, when you are with an Arian person, when you're an Aries yourself, you may discover that some of you will just fall off. It'll fall right off. You'll just want to start doing, and it might be a small project, it might be a small thing, but you may just find a huge gush of hope and wisdom in that moment. And though those relationships don't usually last, because it's like they really fizzle, because you get a lot out of each other really quickly, and then it's almost like, well, no time to waste, see ya. And there could be a lot of breakups during the first part of the relationship. If you can last, because usually these relationships with Aries, they really bring, between two Arians, they bring a lot of hope for everybody. Like, they can connect to things that other people can't perceive yet. It's like super future, okay? So sometimes with an Aries and an Aries, you can just deliver the best ideas, the best income, the best wife, husband, whatever, you know, wife, husband combo ever, to the point where you can become famous or famously known for something. Like, you can become really good at something together. Like, say, if you ever wanted to, creative business and anything to do with the first, like firstborns also for Aries to a lesser degree, but it's more about the first, being the first in the field of your job. For example, if you ever were a agent of some sort and you had a lot of work to do and you met an Aries, there's a chance that they also might have something similar. You know, you might have something really similar in your interests with another Aries, and then you might go forward or gallop forward in what you are doing really fast. But the thing to watch for though in these relationships, as though like they're quite worth keeping, they're really worth keeping, these relationships with another Aries, there's things to watch for. And one of the main things is to traumatize them, like to traumatize no more, because there is sometimes so much going on, such upheaval. There might be trauma, or the feeling that there should be trauma, or release of trauma, or oh woe's me, or I can't get this with you, or I can't get with you, or like I am somehow less than you. Because what happens is Aries has to be first, and sometimes to do that they create resistance with another person just so they can burst out of them and be apart from them, even though they want to be close together. So basically, when you're with another Aries, just keep that in mind. And another thing to do as well is to know that even though you will not last, most Aries couples will not last the first part of the relationship, there is a very strong chance you will keep on going back and forth between each other, even with other people around. For example, you might be married already with kids, but you might think of them, or you might call them, or you might just text them, or you see them on Facebook, you send them a message. There will be a continuation, a continuous growth between you guys, even though you may not really want it. And even though it may not last, this relationship, there will be a very kind start to another relationship afterwards, which will have probably a lot less communication issues. But at the same time, sort of keep in mind that whatever you guys do together sort of keeps on going in a big way. Anyway, next sign. Gosh, it's already 10 minutes. Okay, so next sign, Taurus. Taurus and Aries is a lull. Okay, between the two, there's lots of different preconceptions about the world. There's lots of stagnation. There's always something trauma-based that they're resolving together, though. Especially for Taurus. I feel when Taurus is looking to the 12th house in Aries, whichever, you know, sun, moon, ascendant, lesser moon, but like more Venus. If you are looking towards a Taurus, if you're an Aries or a Taurus with Aries, it's not a very good sort of time to start something new. If you are with a Taurus in any way, you have to find something deeper. Either one of you, there has to be a little bit of a glancing inwards. Like there's got to be a little bit of a strong push inwards towards self just to get that thing right. But in terms of timelines, I feel that works very well, better than with Aries and Aries. I feel that can actually outlast most relationships, even to the point where the two kind of like give and take from each other for a really long time. Like I'm seeing like really old people, old couples, even of like people coming together very young and like never parting, that kind of thing. But I feel for Taurus, Aries is a little bit too strong energetically, and then Taurus can't really decide on what they are because they're looking at their past self in Aries and they get really confused, and sometimes they can blame Aries for being really immature or like incomplete. And then I feel with Aries looking at Taurus, I feel Aries would just find Taurus to be boredom or stagnation, like come out of that, come on, let's go here. Oh, of course she always wants to stay home, you know, like there might be an issue there where Aries gets really possessed with another. Like they get really incomplete with Taurus and they feel like they're half of what they should be. And then they could go and find themselves a Libra or like maybe a sexy Gemini or something. But there is a chance that Aries will not want it to last, and that can break it up. So basically, if you're Aries, especially for Aries, this video, if you've got a Taurus in your life, know that they've come to really, really push you in, and through that, greater growth comes. So it's really good for strength building, for strong hold on reality, finding the grasp in your circles, you know, finding the true meaning of your timeline, everything like that. But don't be sorry if it don't work out either, because sometimes Taurus can bring too much pressure to Aries, so that's cool as well. So moving on anyway, because there's so much to do. Okay, so Gemini with Aries is like number one match. It's like the biggest boom, the biggest boom. It's like, if you can imagine like a big explosion with starlight and glitter, everything like that. And that usually starts from the very first time you guys meet. So if you are with a Gemini, then you sort of thought about what you were feeling towards them earlier, if you're an Aries. And you kind of go, I wasn't kind of sure. I like them, but I'm not sure. There's chance that you are not quite right, or there could have been another scheme for you guys. Like say if you met Gemini and you kind of like, oh yeah, and then you guys got together and then, you know, whatever happened. I feel with Gemini and Aries frequency together, there has to be an obvious yay or nay straight away. It's like, it's not a matter of dating. It's just a matter of like holding their hand and then taking them into a different dimension. It's just like grabbing and going, you know. If you don't feel that way about a Gemini that you're dating, there's most likely chance that you're just not meant for each other. Because when you meet a Gemini Aries, there will need to be a very strong catalyst for change straight away. It's like change. But if you don't really want them around, but you like the energy of change, which Gemini definitely would bring to you, I would suggest keep away from that experience as a future. Just take the chemistry, the chemicals between you and sort of go with it, but know that this transition is for you. I've had something very similar happen in my life. Like I met a Gemini and I was like, oh, I don't know. But then I was like, oh, maybe it's meant to be. And then that put me into like a huge scheme of life, which completely changed my whole existence. But at the same time, it didn't last. So basically, with Gemini, keep in mind, you're not meant to be together unless or until you can really sort of future see yourself. Like, okay, like you saw this girl at the bus stop. You didn't even know what she was, you know, or like you saw a man at a coffee shop. You didn't know what he was, but you were just like, like everything inside you exploded, like, you know, with lust and love for that person. All of a sudden, I want to be around that person. That's meaning there. But if you don't have an instant reaction to Gemini, there's most likely not going to be a lasting frequency there. Anyway, parting ways with Gemini is not usually easy, but it's always fun. It will lead you to greater things. Okay, so let's have a look at Cancer. Also cardinal sign, Cancer and Aries. Okay, this is really, really future driven. You will see yourself like nobody's ever seen you. Like, you'll just be like, whoa, the world has warped. I have no idea how the hell I was there. Look, I meant to go here. And it's funny because I've actually got a very nice Cancerian friend, because I'm an Aries ascendant in Australia. And she's totally changed my world, but in a very minute way. But then I kind of feel like there was just a huge gush of information. But the thing with Cancer and Aries is Cancer gives Aries feelings that Aries doesn't really want to deal with. Certain parts of Cancer are really like, and you just like, I gotta go. And there's like a likelihood that you'll find a lot of love and sex with Cancer that's really rewarding, and to the point where you're like, whoa, that was really freaky. Like, you'll find a new part of you. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe we did it like 3 times on the kitchen table, and then the kids walked in. It was really awkward. Like, there'll be like something that Cancer gives you that you have never thought about, and you're like, oh, that's really enticing. But at the same time, at the end, Cancer gets deep. Cancer goes like, come on, you gotta be with me, you gotta stay. And then you just go, get the fuck out of my face. I can't deal with it. There is a part of Cancer that is too knowing that you will leave as well. And in that energy sometimes is grief and greed. For your time, you might get a lot of messages from them, you might get a lot of stimulation from them, because it can kind of tell that you're not like forever, you know? Well, you can be. The thing with Cancer and Aries relationships, like my mom and my dad are, you know, Cancer and Aries, my mom being Cancer, my dad being Aries, archetypal, feminine, masculine, of course. He gave her so much grief in the end that it wasn't really worth it for Cancer, okay? But then he like Aries, he's become really transformed and enlightened through the process of the relationship, although he'd never admit it. So it's like ungrateful. There's an ungrateful or unjust frequency there, but keep going if you're an Aries. If you're a Cancer, I'll talk about it in your next in your actual video on compatibility. I would not advise Aries for you. I would not. It would just like put you on the ground eventually. It would just put you head down on the ground until you can completely be self-efficient. If you're completely self-efficient, you don't care, and it's a swing thing on the side, and everybody involved knows about it. Say you're in a couple, open relationship, if it's really freaking clear, together is best. It's amazing. It's like you can do amazing things, but come back to your own home, your own partnerships, and your own together forever inside. Anyway, Leo and Aries. I'm really enjoying this series, can you tell? Okay. Oh, the chemistry is doing my head in. It's really funny. Okay, so Leo and Aries. If you're an Aries, obviously Leo is not for you. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that Leo is for everyone. There is a frequency in Leo that needs to be heard and felt by everything in life. They've come to boast and brag and be. And that's something really beautiful about you, Leo. If you are Leo, listening to your partner's compatibility video, if you're a Leo, if there is a Leo in the room, you know, and if you're also Leo and Aries together in one chart, Leo is fantastic for Aries as companion, as the wingman, as anything to do with, right, we're doing it together, we're doing the battle, we're having that baby, we're buying that house, okay, wonderful. Although when it really comes to nurture, Aries gets none. Aries is not really looking for that though. There's a part of frequency of Aries that's looking for the militant energy because it's ruled by Mars and it's the first of the zodiac, but in the same sense it needs a degree of forever, Libra, eternity. Calm down, babe, it's all right. Look, have a cup of tea with me. I don't need to hear you say anything. I just want you here. Like, there is no need for that for Leo and Aries together. Even though Leo has got a very nice loving side with other signs, like with Cancer and Capricorn, you know, but at the same time, Leo and Aries, Leo will not give Aries enough. It will just not. And Aries will never say anything, because Aries will be like, but we built that house, but we had that baby, but we made the boat happen, we did it, you know. But at the same time, there will be something that is not there. So with divorce and things like parting ways and cutting up mortgage and children and things, it is a very practical lifetime for you guys. If you're looking to be with a Leo in any way, there is definitely a practicality there, and then the sort of a split and union. Say you just talk well about each other. Yeah, I was with her for 7 years. She was a really wonderful woman. Like, there's just like a split, but there's like a almost a formal energy between you afterwards. Like, oh yeah, that was great. But I would really recommend staying with it if your path, look at the chart, look at your individual chart. If your path is about achievement, about creation, about children, about marriage, about everything of the traditional type, because of your previous life karma, and for them as well, this is wonderful. So like, it depends. This is really depends. Like, say, if you've got somebody in your life and they're Leo, and their horoscope, their entire chart is about growth, forgiveness, humanitarian pursuits, you know, traveling the world, loving each other. No, it's not right. Have a look at their chart. If it's a stoic chart, if it's about getting things done, putting things in the right boxes, and for example, they're a medical student, you know, for example, they do medicine and they're just doing this like that, and you, for example, doing psychology and you doing things like that, and you both together can make a business. You both together can make a big life for each other, with each other, but at the same time, sort of keep in mind that it's all practical. Anyway, let's have a look at who's next. Virgo. Okay, Virgo for Aries is dream. It's a dream. There's a dreamy energy with it, as you probably have noticed. You know, when we went through Jupiter and Virgo, you probably went a bit dreamy, just a little bit dreamy. Like all last year, you probably would have been a little bit like, I can do anything. Yeah, so basically Virgo and Aries, amazing work, and amazing truth feelings coming out of Aries here, without any like disappointment or dissonance or la la la. You know how Aries gets a little bit like, oh, what's over there, what's over here. Aries and Virgo. Aries gets condensed in Virgo. Aries becomes, oh, here's me. Okay, good. There is a very strong frequency towards children, any kind of rearing of any kind of household pets, you know, petting things, loving things, looking after things like little plants and things. Virgo will not, however, give Aries any room. Why? Just a second. Because Virgo, me, it's funny because I got like Venus and Virgo, but then I got Aries Ascendant here. It sort of affects the inner chemistry as well. Okay, Aries won't get any room from Virgo if Virgo is not happy with the outcome. Okay, if you've got like this slightly bitchy female, you know, that you're dating, or like this within you, like in me, I got that as well, part of my scheme, because the relationships all happen on the inside as well as on the outside. Okay, if you've got a bitchy female and you're partner with a bitchy female, and you're Aries, and your female's like, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't like the house dirty, I don't like you going out at night, I don't actually think that, you know, you deserve these people, I think you should be with these people. If you get like a Virgo like that, it's hard. It's hard to just boom, like, because Aries like boom, 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 boom. It's like, what? And there's just hard. And then in bed, that can be very tiring. Oh no, you can't put that here. No, you can't do that. I don't actually kiss during sex. You know, like anything like that can really put Aries like, okay, we're doing it this way then. And sometimes it works. Like there'll be a rare occasion when Aries has got too much to do to care about sex, or too much to think about to really be triggered when he comes home or she comes home, and the partner who's Virgo is like, babe, you need to take your shoes off. You know, like, okay, fuck it. All right, I've had a busy day. Okay, I'll take my shoes off. Okay, what's for dinner? And usually Virgos for Aries provide. Virgo's like, okay, you need this. I need to iron your clothes. I need to make you tea. I need to clean the cupboards. Like there will be something in Aries that'll be like, okay, cool, that's fine. Like it's funny because I'm Ascendant Aries, and my partner's got Virgo moon. It kind of affects us to a lesser degree, but there could be like a lot of frequency of change. There can be a lot of frequency of getting things right and getting everything done. It's great if you want a nice life in a cute place. It's like a cottage with nice like dinners, everything like that. If you're an Aries, go for it. But I wouldn't promise it would be fun. I wouldn't promise it. Like, I wouldn't promise that it would be like, I'm going at it, I'm living. Okay, so basically what to do is when you're with a Virgo, you have to know that you're learning to be connected. You are learning to be connected to what's real, okay, for other people maybe. So it's okay. So let it be, enjoy it. And maybe during this time with a Virgo, just trust, because Virgo will not lie. They just won't. They will not. They actually don't. So like, don't worry. I mean, it's not for every Virgo, but with this complete combo, I feel Virgo will be so happy with Aries. If Aries can like put up with their crap sometimes, and then Virgo will be like, nobody loves me, but you do, you know, like, so basically you guys can really last. Moving on. Okay. Libra. Wow, this is a really long video, 25 minutes. Okay, Libra and Aries, amazing. There is a tragedy in the air though, because Libra knows that everything comes to an end. Everything is forever, but everything is nothing. There's something very, very, very strange with Libra that is like really superficial on the outside and makes great choices. You know, Aries thinks, that's a great girl, that's a great person, or that's a great guy, he's just great. But there is something inside as an undercurrent to Libra that Aries can't see. And that's like eternity. And knowing that nothing is, everything comes to an end. And that is something that Aries can't totally connect with within themselves, because they're always, number one, where do I go? Where do I see? Where do I sing? Where do I write? Where do I draw? And then like Libra puts Aries into a blasé state. Blasé, like, hey, I'll just give you head. You know, like, oh, I'll just rub your feet. Like Libra will service or center around Aries, because Aries has got so much pizzazz, but at the same time they kind of carry them away into a no man's land, and that's really interesting for Aries, because it sort of brings to them a lot of, I never knew I could love like this, or like, I never understood that things could be this way, oh my god, I learned so much from you, Libra. But at the same time, Libra will not want it. There'll definitely be a definite part of Libra, they'll be like, yeah, okay, keep learning. I'm just gonna have a look at the time. Oh, someone called. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, and then kind of like look at them like they're the doctor, and Aries is sort of like a creepy patient. And this is something that is not really true for most people, maybe, but for some of us Libras, an Arian can be very domineering for us, but then very placid when we just do like one thing, right? Little thing, say light little thing, and then Aries is like. You know, like just limp, you know, like sort of feels really at home with Libra. But there would need to be definite nurture of self, because this is a very karmic relationship. It's a very deep knowing relationship. If you don't commit to yourselves, you will not find anything. You'll just limbo with each other. Oh, this feels nice. Yeah, that feels good. Oh, doesn't it? And Libra can kindly sort of control Aries, and Aries is like, oh, I'm a little puppy. I'm coming with you. I'm going wherever you go. So there needs to be a total centering for both people. Anyway, on the inside, Libra will not want it, but it will eventually love Aries more than anything. But Aries cannot sort of see it. Like they think this is it, you know, like I get a nice meal, like I get to spend time with this amazing social person. They don't actually understand what's happening. But Libra is almost like, don't know, do I love you? Do I care for you? I'm a Libra. I've been with an Aries before. Like I'm like, I don't know. I love you. Look, I can just do this. Look, and you just fall asleep. Like there is something very interesting in this relationship, but I feel if you do want it to last, don't look to what you do for each other, with each other, or how you chemically connect, or oh, she liked that, or he didn't like that. Like don't look at how it works, because together you guys doing something huge, but you just don't know it yet. Anyway, so Scorpio and Aries, they got a leader together. They got a co-ruler. They got Mars, because before Pluto got discovered, people thought Scorpio was ruled by Mars, and I say he because Scorpio is a very masculine feeling to me. So basically Scorpio and Aries are way freaking out. Like, you think you're here? You're way over there. There is something over, you know, between Aries and Scorpio that just completely fucks with the mind. Like, you think you're here? Well, we're going. You think you're happy with a job? We're gonna quit it tomorrow, okay? You know, you think you're going to be with this person forever? I'm gonna break you guys up. You know, there is something in the air that's like, I'm gonna fuck your life up, but in the same sense, this may work. Oh, it may not. Sorry about that. But, you know, it's more like, how can I fracture you? How can I break you? How can I start your life anew? How can I jumpstart your experience? And that's what Scorpio will do as well, and Aries will. You know, it's like they're both sort of like, how do I twist you a little bit? How do I change you? And it's really annoying because for Scorpio, this is the way of life, but Aries becomes a mirror of that. They're like, oh, you're freaky and magic. I am also. I am too. Look, I can change your life. I can give you really good advice sometimes. And that's something that Aries does not know. Like they're playing in the field, they don't freaking understand. Okay? They don't understand. So basically, if you're Aries with Scorpio, know that you are small. Really freaking small in comparison to the energy of Scorpio. And then everything will be fine. But for some reason, Aries won't like that. And Aries doesn't like to be small, so there will likely be conflicts, there will likely be butting heads, and there'll be likely like deep knowing forgiveness as well, because Scorpio loves Aries. Anyway, moving on, Scorpio, who's next? Sagittarius and Aries is like Formula One. It's like the basics. Okay, you got a Sagittarius lover, you're an Aries. It's the basics. What do you guys want? I mean, you want like a nice dinner and you want like a nice play, you want to go to a game. That's what you'll have. Oh, well, I guess I just want some peas and carrots and a steak. That's what you'll have. It's the basics. It's like you get a basic house, you have a basic living situation, you have basic arrangements. Everything is completely basic. Completely. To the point where there's no innovation at all sometimes for some people like that. But they do not need each other. Like, hey honey, I'm home. Okay, well, we got peas and carrots. Okay, peas and carrots, yay. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Like, there's just like this really nice ease and really nice relaxation throughout the relationship when they like combine. They just like transfuse each other into like, hey magic, hey magic, hey magic, hey good, yeah, been a good day. But there will need to be change because these two don't fucking change together for some reason, even though they're really predominantly like masculine, like fiery, amazing shifters and changes. There'll need to be somebody who'll die because Scorpio is before Sag, or Pisces is before see, Pisces is before Aries. It might be somebody who's dead around, you know. There might be like an uncharted territory, there might be loss, there might be strong need to forgive each other from a past life. There could be twin flames. There could be a very strong illness in one of the people, or like become more ill, you know, together, or there could be something really weird going on underneath that needs to be dealt with. But people don't see it, and that's fine for Aries. You know, I get home, I get peas and carrots, but there needs to be knowing that this is a very karmic relationship or cradled relationship where really deep dark shit goes on the inside. Nobody knows about it, everything's fine. Hey babe, let's go to the movies. Hey, yeah, that's wonderful. I really like your dress. But there is a very, very, very strange and probably scary world out there for the two. Or they don't trust each other, or they don't really feel the trust in the world. So there'll need to be a lot of unraveling if you are Sagittarius with an Aries. Anyway. Capricorn. Oh, goodness, I got snuffles. Excuse me. Capricorn and Aries. Babe. Okay, so they're both cardinal signs. Aries and Capricorn are really good together in the bedroom. Just like Cancer and Aries. Oof, amazing. Okay, so Capricorn and Aries are amazing in the bedroom. They do it like forever. It's something really great. Either that or they're really passionate about what each other knows. If you're just a friend with a Capricorn, you're an Aries, sorry, you might have a obsession that you share, like say you collect freaking Pokemon cards and they collect freaking Pokemon cards and you just can't wait to see your friend and have a look at the cards. Like there is something really sexual, even if it's a non-sexual experience. Even if it's like you two dudes and you're just fishing together, but oh, look what he caught. I want to catch a fish just as big as that or bigger. You know, there's something there that's really sexy. Even though you guys are two blokes or two women, doesn't matter. But there is a definite sexual energy and it has to be forgotten. Because this experience is about illusions. Capricorn brings an illusion to Aries that the Aries is not able to handle or hack. Something like candy, and Aries is like, oh my god, candy. So there needs to be something about Capricorn that will be forgotten throughout the relationship. So for example, you've had amazing sex for 2-3 years. There'll come a time when you don't even want to touch each other. I've had a Capricorn before. It's like really weird. Like there'll come a time when you don't even want to look at them. It's very strange. But for a Capricorn, it doesn't matter because they got other things going on. But for an Aries, there'll come a time, whatever you were really into with this Capricorn, like really freaking into, oh my god, it'll come a time where you don't even notice it. Like this guy used to collect Pokemon cards, like, oh, that was 2 years ago. I don't have the time for that. I'm doing something completely different. So Aries will transcend Capricorn in some way, but to keep the relationship going means to keep adding passion to your life through alternative means. Sex, sexy things, weird things, exploring fetish, exploring weird world of wonder, traveling together, building like a huge business or an income or something where you think that you're competing with each other. Capricorn wouldn't really care or want it, but Aries needs something like, oh, you got something I don't know, you got something I don't know about yet. If there is a mystery in Capricorn, Aries is happy, but if there's none, and if you guys are not feeding each other, it'll end really quickly. So Capricorn. Next is Aquarius. Aquarius and Aries is like brother and sister, okay? It's like amazing. Okay, but it's perfect. You know, Aquarius and Aries. You know, who cares? Okay, sorry. I've been with an Aquarius before. Okay, so been freaking with everyone. So like Aquarius and Aries, what's it like? Well, basically Aries likes the Aquarian vibe. Oh, you feel really normal. And everybody's like, Aquarius is so weird, oh my god. But Aries is like, Aquarius is like my best friend. Like there's a feeling of like, completion. Like there's no need to build anymore. Like there's no need to like struggle, there's no need to starve, there's no need to run away from anything. Unless you're doing it together and you're like both ready to run away together. It's like, there's just like between the two of you, you might do things together. You know, crazy shit. But together is always like, hey, I can fart in front of you now. I've only known you for 2 weeks. I can totally like stink out the room and you won't care. Like there's just like a feeling of like, hey man, mate, nice to meet you. So what do you do when you're with an Aquarius Aries? Well, basically you're getting to know what you really want in your life and what you don't really want in your life. Because together you won't want the same things eventually, but during a certain part of your life, you'll just know, like, you'll back each other up on things and you'll be like, I thought that first. No, I did. Like you guys think the same thing and you guys are like, okay, we don't want this, we don't want this, we want that, we want that. But stay clear on you because eventually there might be a time when Aquarius goes totally different direction. That's when you know it's either time to leave yourself behind and be with them, or it's time to break up or have really separate or silly lives together but individually, okay? Because there will definitely come some kind of a shift in Aquarius because of Uranus, where they will just not want anything to do with you. They'll find that they'll be like, oh, stargazing, I need to move to another country. And then when that happens, there will need to be a break. But this will lead to another life. Maybe miraculously it could actually combine you in a really better way, but then in ways it could not, and in ways it would be like, you found each other, you're the best friends ever, you lost each other, oh my god, I don't even know who you are, oh, you found each other, I've known you forever, oh, you're gone, I don't know what is going on. Like there's like a disconnect and connect, disconnect and connect. When you come together, you know that you got to move and shift through something together because you're not strong enough yourself, and then sometimes they just got to go on their own journey, and that's fine. So Pisces for Aries. Pisces for Aries brings many mysteries. Pisces is your 12th house. It's your like underground house. Wow, I feel really weird in the brain when I'm talking about you two. Aries and Pisces, drama. Just drama, fucking about nothing. And it could be just about deep feelings and issues that are not being voiced, but you might be like, who took my napkin off the table? Or like, why did you do that? Why are you wearing my shoes? There might be something really small. And Pisces will make Aries into a little baby sometimes. As well as Aries, like trigger Pisces. Pisces with Aries is a bit like, what the fuck am I doing with you sometimes? I don't even know who you are. Why do I get home? Nothing's done. Why do you like look at me? Why do you judge other people? Why do you not understand the world yet? And Aries is like, you've been sleeping on my blankets. You've done no dishes all week. You've given me a bad feeling. I think I'm sick from you. Like Aries will sort of start looking towards themselves really weirdly as well. Like they might be like, I don't need anyone. I'm lonely. I don't want anything. Like there's like, that like wakes up an Aries with a Pisces if they don't know who they are. But if Aries knows who they are and knows what they want, and they got a job and they got income and they got fracking everything and they want to just do it, they just want to do it, there will be likely a Pisces in their life that'll stop them from it. Sometimes certain things that you might really want to do, Aries, that you are just not meant to do yet, or just things you're just meant to do another lifetime. And then when you get like a Pisces in your life, sometimes it means you're overloaded. Sometimes you're a bit deluded about what you are and what you want. And Pisces comes in and goes, no, you don't do that anymore. You don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to tell you, but you could actually do something better. And certain things about Pisces will want Aries to stay in the game that they're playing as well. There's parts of Pisces that wants Aries to stick around and never change as well, because they're like a baby that never grows up. Like there's part of Pisces that wants to cherish a baby that never grows up, and that's something Aries has to learn to deal with, because they are a baby to a Piscean, but at the same time they need to be something else, because growth and progress is inevitable. So with time, I feel Aries will realize that no one understands anyone. And then that will make Pisces like a redundant figure in their life. And then when that happens, Pisces loves Aries. You think I'm redundant? Ah, yes. And then Pisces falls deeper in love, either with themselves or another one who is still needy and childish. So it needs to be really an interesting mix of character between Pisces and Aries, and the sooner you guys sort of like get to go away from each other into a different dimension or different person or different something, the best. Like say if you ever had a child together, that would be a really fun way to balance out or to form a nice triangle between you two. But sometimes when you guys are together, there has to be another person involved, or soon to be something else happen where you can't be together. Like you work all the time, you can't see each other, you don't know who you are, you don't know what they are. There needs to be kind of like, ooh, dissection. But then the sooner you guys can come together within, then the sooner you guys can form something that's really different. This could be like a lifetime thing, like this can be, but very different ways of being together. Very strange contact of relationships, very weird affairs. Like you just glow with each other, but you don't freaking know how, but you've just done it. You've just done this and you've done that and you don't know how you did it. You might like start a huge band, you might get people to notice you. You might even be in the paper together or something, and you don't know how you did it, but you're doing it. But there needs to definitely be separate energy, because without Pisces, Aries can start something completely different later. And this can mean that through this relationship, there has to be separate components of each of the people involved, even though there might not be just two. But I think that for Pisces, there'll come a time when Aries is like a fad. I went out with that girl. Yeah, it was great. I don't want to talk about it. But then for Aries, Pisces will always sort of become something that they think about. And then when they're connecting in their mind to Piscean, they can be like, oh, I need to start living or something. Oh, like I was a baby all along. So basically, watch your step with Pisces, Aries, and yes, have a look around. Anyway, thank you for watching this amazing 44-minute video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like a compatibility reading for you and your partner, considering all the different aspects of your charts, I'd love to do one for you. I've updated my prices, I've updated my website, so have a look around, maybe, get a reading with me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.